Hi guys, Miss Novella walking you through the embroidery practice for sugar skulls. So I've already directed you through a drawing of very simple designs on this blank skull. This is to demonstrate mastery of our understanding of a sugar skull. For your project, you're going to need a forehead design, radial eye designs, nose, teeth, mouth, chin, or cheeks. But we're going to practice with half. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is make sure that we double thread our needle. So that means we're getting a length of thread that we can fold in half, and then at the ends we're going to tie a knot. So this is a flashback to our sewing unit. We're going to thread our needle exactly how we would thread it with sewing, except with embroidery floss. Then we're going to begin with the top design, and we're going to begin by poking our needle through the back of the worksheet. And then we're going to tape down the thread once we get to the knot, so there is no tying or back tacking. From there, we need to stitch stitches that are no wider than 1/4 of an inch and that have 1/8 of an inch space in between using the running stitch. So it'll look like this. So you can see that I've sewn all the way around this heart, and now my needle is at the bottom of my paper. So what I'm going to do is, instead of cutting off and tying to a knot, I'm simply going to travel my needle to the next design from the back and continue sewing. How would I approach this eye is I would first sew around the eyeball itself, and then I would do the individual petals. I would still follow the 1/4 of an inch stitch with 1/8 of an inch space in between so that the stitches are nice and close to each other. So go ahead and do that. So while I was sewing my eye, I ran out of thread, and so to show you that process, you just cut your needle loose and then you tape it down. I like to tape it outside of my sewing area, and then you just rethread your needle and you pick up where you left off. Remember that you start from the back and you tape down at the knot and just carry on. Once the eye is done, it's time to solid in the nose. How I approach this is going to be sewing the outline of the nose first and then using stitches to fill in the space. For this particular fill-in, my stitches are going to be as wide as the area that I'm stitching. So I don't want to do short 1/4 inch stitches. That won't make sense. Once I get my outline, I'll be filling in this space with stitches that extend from this end to this end. So you can see I've already made my nose solid with just several stitches. So we're going to continue this process, next taking on our mouth, and then lastly our chin design.